Okay, this is the Fox School of Hockey. And if you didn't know it, Justin Bieber is an unbelievably good hockey player. Now, he does come from, once again, someone from Ontario Province, Canada. And I saw him in a video clip with all of the hockey equipment on and skates and a hockey stick. And my God, he should be playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He is that good. Wow. Now, he doesn't look that big, but then again, Toronto Maple Leafs sometimes draft small, and they currently have, I think so, still with them, somebody small who was their top draft pick. So, is it possible that Justin Bieber, well, there's an awful lot of good hockey players of Justin Bieber caliber in Canada that never made the National Hockey League. But it was definitely a surprise. You wouldn't expect someone who spent all their time playing the piano when they were a child to be, a really good hockey player. It also means that if you're going to be in the NHL, there's an awful lot of really good hockey players that you've got to beat. So if you think somehow that ice hockey is full of, they're just not up to the standard of football or NFL football or European, no, what do they call it? European hockey? No, no, I don't know. Some European hockey players are very good and they make the National Hockey League. And, you know, I was going to talk about European football, otherwise known as, as soccer in North America. And, if you think, that only soccer players are really good, then you don't understand ice hockey. I don't want to tell you too much about being original. And, if you want to be original, you've got to have original things to talk about. And okay, this hat I just discovered today. It's got camouflage on the bottom of the brim. And you'll see it's actually the Tampa, what do you call them? The Buccaneers. And I just noticed this for the first time. So does it mean that Buccaneers fans are also, I don't know. I mean, you could use this kind of it's difficult. This kind of camouflage if you were going, I don't know. It was just very strange. Oh, look at that. Now, and we're never going to get to the point of this whole video, which is, can you imagine if you were in space and, there was, let's say it was, you're out in space and you wanted to get a message from home and, you were listening to the radio and the radio was from home. So what they did is they said into your friends and family, just send the messages to us at the radio station, and then we're going to have a time when we're going to have the DJ send out messages to, the spaceships on the radio in between the songs. And, this segment is going to be called, well, our on Earth, if you're out on a ship, they call you, a navy. And, if you're in the Navy and it's, instead of sailing the ocean, you're sailing through space, the segment is going to be called Well, if you're sailing the seven seas, then, you're called a seaman. So we're going to call this segment on the radio station sending messages to outer space to the spacefaring people in the Space Navy. Or, Donald Trump was going to have the Space Force. Anyway, the segment on the radio station from planet Earth is going to be called Messages to Seamen. The first message is going to be to Arbuthnot. Arbuthnot is in some kind of a Spanish galleon, which is a tall ship, a sailing ship with all kinds of long masts and canvas sails. And last known, he was crossing the equator, and they have some kind of a ceremony when you cross the equator. And I know in Newfoundland, I think it's called kissing the cod. Cod is a kind of fish, and you get really drunk on Newfoundland Screech, which is a private label rum. And they get out a codfish, and you got to kiss a codfish. A real fish, is it live or dead? I don't know. Kiss it on the mouth, kissing the cod, and you got to get into a lot of rum before you're prepared, apparently. But anyway, Arbuthnot is someone that we know, and he is definitely of a pirate variety, and he was last heard crossing the equator somewhere near. I don't know. It was so long ago. We don't really know anymore, but whatever that ceremony is, apparently he was involved. And, turning this thing upside down, I mean, why would you need camouflage on a buccaneer hat? It's most unusual. Maybe if you were wearing, some people wear these camouflage shorts, and they've got, big pockets in there so you can throw a few beer cans in there, in your wallet, an enormous set of keys, and, your rolling papers and a grinder and, a pipe and condominiums and things. We have no more messages for seamen. And what are you going to call somebody who is... have you heard of the Dax? DAX? Well, I don't know. It was some kind of a strange species from a foreign planet, which was populated by humanoids called the Trill. And the Dax kind of look like if you took out someone's brain, and then the long spinal cord that goes down, it goes down your backbone. Well, that's what these Dax things look like. And what they do is they take a humanoid, and then they implant one of these brains and something like that into a humanoid, and then the humanoid is hosting this thing called a Dax. We learned about it from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Apparently, we're out of time, so I'm not going to tell you about the fact that there's been many sci-fi stories about invasions of the body snatchers, And, the Daxar have to be watched by the men in black because they might want to snatch you and your body and it have like some weird thing implanted in you. Another Star Trek episode, it was a Star Trek movie, The Wrath of Khan. There were little bugs. They were like, not that little, but, inch and a half. And if you put them into someone's ear, they would crawl down your ear canal, and then they would get into your brain, and they would make you. First, they would be terribly painful, and then you would go mad, and then you were open to hypnotic suggestion, except you weren't really hypnotized. But whatever somebody said to you after this bug had gotten your brain, you were basically mind controlled. And Khan, who was played by the actor Ricardo Montalban, used these bugs to make Chekhov do his will. Chekhov was on the original Star Trek, played by Walter Koenig. Anyways, supernatural ways of mind control are voodoo. I don't know, other than voodoo, who else does mind control. If you've been voodooized, they call you a duppy. In other words, you're kind of a zombie. And I think a lot of times, instead of actually using supernatural means, they give you plant concoctions. Certain plants are known to do strange things to human minds, and I think that's how they make duppies. So I don't really think it's too much supernatural. I think it's, like there's certain plants that will make you crazy, like the datura plant. It's also known as an angel's trumpet. Someone says cigarettes. Do cigarettes make you crazy? Well, they're highly addictive for some people. Other kinds of plants that will make you see things. Well, there's an awful lot of them. Now we're going back to Justin Bieber. And if you have beaver fever, this is known as something called Guardia parasite. And Guardia parasite, if you're drinking water, like you're out in a mountainous area, like say Western Canada, and there's a nice stream of water with glacier-fed water, and you're thirsty and you don't have any water, and you drink the water, it's possible that you might get this beaver fever. And the way to not get it is you can go to Mountain Equipment Co-op in Vancouver, Canada, or Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and you can get a water filter gizmo, or you can go to Mountain Equipment Co-op website and you can order one of these things. They're amazing, and you could stick it in your backpack, and that way you can filter the water, very fine filter that takes out these parasites. The next best thing to that is what I used to do. I used to get, the old school cameras used film, and the film canisters came in a plastic container with a sealable top. So what I used to do is I'd put chlorine bleach from the laundry into one of these little canisters, and then if I had to drink water and I was out hiking, I would just add a little bit of this bleach to it. Now, would it kill Giardia? Maybe not, because they were known to form cysts that might be not affected by chlorine, but next best thing to nothing. Please subscribe and share.